right here on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone. Texas football is ranked number one. Texas hoops gets handled by, Arkansas. Eric Henry of Horns 24/7 joins us at 7:34. Texas baseball coach Jim Schlossnagle will be joining us for our weekly conversation at 8 a.m. We've got False Sports, Stephen Foster of Laying Down the Law at 8:17. And, of course, we've got the WWE Hall of Famer and the world's strongest man, the Mark Henry, bringing us the world's strongest take. I am your host, Mike Harbaugh Harge. My co-host is a WWE Hall of Famer and recognized as the world's strongest man. He is the Mark Henry.
Good morning, Austin.
What it do. And our guy Khalil is behind the boards. And if you want to be part of the show, all you got to do is text the word Texas, followed by your message to 81530. Standard data and message rates may apply. That's the word Texas, followed by your message to 81530. We also want you to do what you do, and that is voice your opinion. And all you got to do is use the talkback feature on the new and improved iHeartRadio app, and we'll receive your message instantly. And, of course, we will, if it's good enough, we'll give it to you a chance to be on the show, but we'll also give you a chance to win some tickets a little bit later, as we will be giving some tickets away. Good morning, Mark. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, man. Ready to get at it, man. I'm optimistic about a lot of things going on in the sports world.
I know there is a lot of action that is going on, and I mentioned it to you just a little while ago. The Texas Longhorns are number one when it comes to recruiting. Chris Jackson, the wide receiver coach, was recognized as the recruiter of the year, and we'll talk more about that at 7:34 with Eric Henry of Horns 24/7. He was at the game last night, though, and Texas basketball came up a little short yesterday, my man. What were your takeaways from the basketball game last night?
We gotta get more to a microwave style of basketball rather than cooking in the oven, because this starting late and trying to make big comebacks at the end is not working for me as a fan. Like, I want to see us jump out and show some energy. We sat back hard and waited on them. Like, why are we sitting back and watching people? Like, we got to get out and take the initiative. That was the only negative take back from the game.
Well, you start looking at the game, and it was a tale of two halves. First half, Texas struggled, as you said. They weren't cohesive. Arkansas was very disruptive on the defensive side of the ball. They came out and they played aggressive. They made you turn over the basketball. Texas ended up having 11 turnovers last night. It was just a slow start for everyone that was involved. But then you get to the second half, the aggressiveness, as to your point, flipped, and Texas started attacking and continued to attack. They closed the gap a little bit, but it was too little, too late. Texas comes up short 78-70 in a big matchup that we all knew coming into it. Coach Cal, Hall of Fame coach, Wagner is one of the best players in the country. He came with Coach Cal, but Johnny Davis, the guard, Jonell Davis, was able to go out there and hoop, scored 24 points yesterday. He was efficient from the three-point line, shooting 50%, but he got to the free throw line and was 6 of 6 from there. They shot 27 of 35 from the free throw line. That's what you got to do. Texas, again, 6 of 22 from three, man.
I don't understand. I just, you throw your hands up at some point, but I'm not at throwing my hands up stage. I just want to see them make an effort to rectify the problem. It's the same old story. Like, if you're not going to shoot them at a high clip, get to the basket.
Yeah, you got to attack the rim. And that's one of the biggest things for me is Texas has to find a way to get spacing. You have to have some spacing. And it looked like sometimes when they were trying to get to the lane, it was all clogged up. They were efficient. Like I said, Calipari came in with a game plan that was attacking style. And Rodney Terry talked about it post-game, and he too was talking about, hey, we got to do better in the beginning of the game.
In here, good crowd tonight. Like Long. Thank you guys for being here. Good crowd tonight. Like Longhorn Nation. Thank Longhorn Nation for coming out tonight, trying to get behind us and support us. Arkansas team came in, played really well tonight. Coach Cal had his team ready to play an aggressive style defense early. They really came out, set the tone with their defense, really out physical us in the first half. We didn't do a great job of taking care of the basketball. I didn't do a great job of having my guys prepared to handle the kind of pressure we were going to be facing right off the bat. And thought we were much better in the second half, but give them a lot of credit for the way they played tonight. They really, dictated how the game was played throughout the course of the game. So give them a lot of credit for what they were able to do with their defense tonight. When shots are not falling, we have to still be able to sit down and guard and try to play physical as well.
Yep. I mean, what more can you say, right? What more can you say about that ability to execute at an important stage of the game? We're deep into the season, right? Like we're deep into this point of where things need to happen, and they need to happen fast.
Yeah, I really do think that timeouts work in the first 3 minutes of the game. And I've been in games where stuff wasn't going right, and you call a timeout and say, look, all right, this is only 3 minutes. We sucked this first 3 minutes, guys. We're not going to suck this fourth minute. I want people flying around. We need to get some rebounds. Do not turn the ball over. Get the ball to the basket. That's what I was hoping was going to happen, but it didn't. And, I'm not putting it on Coach Terry's coaching. I'm putting it on the guys being they don't have a lot of veterans, but the guys that they do have that have been here before, they need to get in the huddle and tell those guys, look, man, we need to weather this storm. Like, get to the basket. Don't turn the ball over. I want to see more leadership from the older guys.
Well, they turn it right back around when they get a chance to get things going. They go to Nashville on Saturday, and then on Tuesday night, huge matchup between Texas and Alabama at the Moody Center. Nashville versus Vanderbilt, who's been playing really good basketball here lately. Now they get a chance to go there. Then they come back and they take on Alabama at home, and then follow that by a Saturday night basketball game against Kentucky. It doesn't get any easier. They're going to have to get back to the drawing board, regroup, get things going, and get back to it. One of the other things, Mark, that was going on during that game is the inconsistency of the flow at the point guard position and at the ability to get to the rim, as we talked about. I just got to figure out what's going to happen at that position. Julian Larry came in. He was a little shaky at the very beginning, but he finished with 11 points. But most of that came in the second half. And then you got to look at what Trayvon Mark. Do you think Trayvon Mark was looking at his former team and was kind of like, trying to do too much?
I thought that he wasn't trying to do too much. I thought that he let them dictate what he was doing. They right. used his aggressiveness against him, and he needs to watch Pope. He needs to watch The Matrix and take some of Morpheus's training. He needs to calm down and just use his energy wisely. He didn't. He looked like he was a wild man, and that's basketball is a precise game. Right. Like, a screen and roll is a screen and roll. A pick and roll is a pick and roll. Like he was going to the basket, stumbling, falling down, trying to power people, and that's not his game. So they allowed him to get out of his game. As far as the point guard situation goes, in the second half, Larry was doing what I thought he should have done the whole game. Go downhill and try to get to the basket. Either draw a foul or get a charge, whatever you need to do.
Yeah, he was one of the guys that I've been waiting for. You were on me at the beginning of the year about him, but I was like, nah, he's going to be okay because he controls the tempo of the game. But there are sometimes you got to speed up everything around you, especially in those times when you guys are trailing. So we'll see what happens moving forward. I know that they're going to put in a lot of work. They're going to have to make some changes, and we'll see what happens in Nashville. I'll be at the game in Nashville this weekend, so I'll get a chance to check them out in person again. So we'll see what happens.
Some hot chicken while you're there?
Here we go. Got to talk about food all the time, man. You know that. When we come back, we're going to talk about the trades in the NBA. Looks like the story is kind of changing as well for one Jimmy Butler. We'll be back right here on the Morning Kickoff on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone.
Get ready to cheer on your Round Rock Express right here on 1300 The Zone. From the first pitch to the final out, Round Rock Express Baseball, only on 1300 The Zone.
Listen to the Bama Brown Experience on the free iHeartRadio app or at BamaBrownPodcast.com.
Well, we have a fresh accident, I-35 northbound at Boggy Creek Drive, setting you back like 15 minutes. Stop and go traffic back to the 45 toll road. Also, Guadalupe Street at West 45th Street, an accident reported there, and Riverside Drive at South Lakeshore Boulevard, an accident there as well. I'm Alan Craig with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Business owners can now keep in touch with up to 200 staff members at one time. Go to rapidradios.com now for up to 60% off and free shipping.
Hey, it's Sandy. I don't know about you, but the thought of getting a brand new under warranty car is pretty exciting, right? But the idea of going through the process and driving all over Central Texas looking at cars, not such a great process. Well, the answer to that is Apple Leasing, because you can get any car that you want with one phone call. The number is 346-9977. You can go to their website too, appleleasing.com. You heard that right. Any make, any model that you want with one phone call. And when you lease a car, those payments every month are often a lot less than if you financed that exact same car. Plus, it's under warranty, so when you drive off in your new car from Apple Leasing, you know that if anything goes wrong, it's under warranty. That's comforting. Call Apple Leasing today, 346-9977. Trade in the car that you've got and get into a brand new one from Apple Leasing. 346-9977 or appleleasing.com.
Run a business and not thinking about podcasting? Think again. More Americans listen to podcasts than ad-supported streaming music from Spotify and Pandora. And as the #1 podcaster, iHeart's twice as large as the next two combined. So whatever your customers listen to, they'll hear your message. Plus, only iHeart can extend your message to audiences across broadcast radio. Think podcasting can help your business? Think iHeart. Streaming, radio, and podcasting. Let us show you at iHeartAdvertising.com. That's iHeartAdvertising.com.
No two people learn the exact same way. So how did Babbel become the award-winning language learning app? We thought of you, all of you. Take Sierra. As a visual learner, she uses Babbel's wordplay videos.
Today I'll share a quick lesson on shopping in French.
Merci beaucoup. Keith is a be in the room with real people kind of learner. So he loves the live online classes with our language experts.
Okay, class. Vos está pronto.
Estamos prontos.
However you learn, Babbel makes it easy. Try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Now Taxes is using Credit Karma, where TurboTax Expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get your refund so you can do more with it right in Credit Karma. Now this is taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
How did you sleep last night? If you find yourself restless, you know where to turn. Factory Mattress. During the Factory Mattress President's Day sale, get a queen mattress set with an adjustable power base for only $589, or turn 2 bedrooms into sleep sanctuaries for the price of one with buy one, get one free deluxe mattresses. Enhance your sleep and save more, because nobody can sell for less than Factory Mattress.
My Factory Mattress.
Not all products are available in all 50 states. Compounded products are not FDA approved nor verified for safety, efficacy, or quality. Wegovy and Ozempic are not compounded. Prescription required. Restrictions apply. See website for full details.
Why try Hims for weight loss? If you're interested in personalized prescription options, including Ozempic, Wegovy, oral medications, and compounded GLP-1 injections, and the support to see real results, you might like it. Why try Hims to regrow hair? If a range of treatment options made with clinically proven ingredients like minoxidil and finasteride for thicker, fuller hair in 3 to 6 months sound good, you might like it. Why try Hims for ED? If you've been looking for access to doctor-trusted treatments like Viagra, Cialis, and their more affordable generic counterparts, you and your partner might like it. The HIMS process is simple, 100% online, and treatments are shipped free to your door in discreet packaging if prescribed. What's not to like? To save big on weight loss, hair loss, and ED solutions, get started today at hims.com. That's hims.com.
I'm Greg Rosenthal, host of NFL Daily. Join me live from Radio Row in New Orleans. I'll be interviewing the NFL's biggest names all week long. NFL Daily will have you ready for this year's big moment. Will it be Mahomes completing the three-peat or Jalen Hurts avenging their Super Bowl 57 loss? We'll be there on the field after the game. Full recap, interviews with this year's Super Bowl champions. Don't miss it.
Listen to NFL Daily on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Follow NFL Daily and start listening on the free iHeart Radio app today.
This is your home for the Round Rock Express, 1300 The Zone.
Welcome back to the morning kickoff right here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone. And this is the wild time. And as my man Mark Henry loves to say, as Jimmy turned. There you go, Mark. It has finally happened.
It's over.
Things have made the move, and in a record time of being suspended 3 times this year by Jimmy Butler, Jimmy Butler has now found a new home. Thoughts, Mark?
My initial thought is finally it's over with. Second thought is how intense will the games be played with Draymond Green and Jimmy Butler playing together? They both are very intense, high energy, just relentless players, defensively and offensively. So I think it's a significant upgrade for Golden State. We just have to see them play together and see what it looks like.
Well, here's the thing that ended up happening, and it's funny that you said that because I literally just told Khalil the exact same thing. I said, this is going to be combustible at times, but if Jimmy goes in and understands that you're new to the team, this is not your team, just understand what your role is going to be, and things will be different. Jimmy Butler agreed to a 2-year, $112 million extension to stay with the Warriors, so it wasn't going to be one of those deals where they moved him right away. He declined his $52 million player option on his current contract to be able to sign the new extension. But him going to the Bay Area and being part of that organization, to me, is a desperate move by Golden State. And here's why. You got rid of one of your best players, and Andrew Wiggins. He plays defense, so you kind of cleared that one out, right? But is he going to fit in with the things that are built amongst Steph Curry? Does he understand you have to do things that you got to be a defensive stopper, you got to be a rebounder, and you got to be a dude that can score off the ball? Like, you're not going to have the ball in your hands that much.
You know who he is, right?
Who is he?
Jimmy Butler is that player. Like, I don't know what you gonna pick Wiggins over Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler is a hell of a better player than Wiggins ever was. And if they want to go big and they go Steph Curry, Jimmy Butler, and you put Draymond Green as small forward and they can go big. Now they have the versatility to do that. Now Jimmy Butler can go to small forward. Power. Jimmy Butler can go to small forward. Draymond Green can go to power forward, and they have versatility that way. Like the centers and the two guards are just spot shooters. Everybody else is they're the grinders in that offense. That triangle that they run with Steph Curry and Draymond Green, they needed a third piece, and they have it. They have their third piece. I mean, Trey, if I was gonna say who was a better fit for the triangle, Jimmy Butler or what's our guy that went to Dallas, Klay Thompson.
Yeah,
I would pick Jimmy Butler because Jimmy Butler can defend. Anytime that Jimmy play against a star 2 guard or a star 3, they all suffer because he's that good of a defender at the perimeter and at the post.
Well, I do like that the fact that they still got Buddy Hield on that team. I don't like the fact that Wiggins is gone. He was a very good complementary player for that squad. Dennis Schroeder, okay, I can deal without that. We got to see what Kevin Looney's going to be able to do. Is he going to be able to step up and play like Looney when they went on that championship run where people were like, oh, God, he ended up getting paid off of that deal. And now we'll see what happens. But that saga is done. And now we move on to your Lakers. The Lakers got rid of your boy, Dalton Knecht, Cam Reddish, a 2031 unprotected first-round pick, and a 2030 swap for our center, Mark Williams. Now, this goes to show you exactly what they understood. Okay, we got rid of Anthony Davis, who was doing a hell of a job on the boards, but we got to find somebody quick to get back in there, and they went out and got that guy from Charlotte.
Mark is 7 feet tall. He's 250 pounds. He can really defend, and he's a lob threat. And Harge, he's 23. Low miles, can get the job done. Now you add him and Vanderbilt in the post together, it's going to be pretty crazy. And don't forget that the Lakers got Max Keebler in the trade with Dallas. So Max Keebler is a 6'10" forward center type, and they already had Jackson Hayes, who's been playing really well the last 5 or 6 games. So like they're good now in the post. They needed another guy that was the main guy, and they got him.
Yeah, it's an important pickup for the Lakers because of the void that was going to be there with Anthony Davis being gone. Cam Reddish is a guy that just keeps getting bounced around by everybody. That Dalton Knecht.
I was sad to see Dalton go.
Yeah, I knew you was going to be. I knew it was going to be a big deal to you because you've been hyping him up to be a big part of what they needed. Also, the rap.
Hard. If it came down between Dalton Knecht and Austin Reeves, I would take Austin Reeves.
Well, he's running the point for you guys. So Knecht wasn't going to be a point guard. So I see where you're talking about. That's a good move for them. Also, the Raptors land Brandon Ingram in a 3-player deal. They pretty much got Brandon Ingram for Bruce Brown, Kelly Olynyk, a first-round pick. Which year is the first rounders? I think it's 2025. And a second-round pick. So that was a good trade for the Raptors for pretty much. Brandon Ingram's been wanting to get out of there for a long time anyway. So that was a good move. The Bucks traded for Kyle Kuzma and Patrick Baldwin Jr. and Jericho Sims. They get Jericho Sims on the Bucks. The Wizards get Chris Middleton and A.J. Johnson and a 2028 first-round pick. And the Knicks get Dalen Wright and some cash. Not anything really to write home about, but the story of the day and the trade deadline is at 2 o'clock today. It ends at 2 o'clock today. So we'll see what ends up happening. But the 2 moves that were the most important was Jimmy Butler going to the Warriors and Mark Williams going to the Lakers.
Hey, well, I'll tell you what, Jericho Sims playing with Giannis is scary. That's a scary situation. Athletic big, played at Texas, was in New York. The guy, all he does is defend and rebound. I was hoping that the Lakers would go get him, but the Lakers did even better. But it's him and Giannis playing together, that's a pretty stiff defensive unit.
Yep. That's the reason why I believe that they got them to be able to control the boards in the East. Khalil and I were talking before the show, or actually during the break a little while ago, talking about the Boston Celtics. You have to be able to compete with them because everybody on their team can go get 20. Yeah. Every single person on their team can go get you a bucket. You try to take away Jason Tatum, you got Jaylen Brown. You try to take away Jaylen Brown, you got Tatum, and you have Derek
Horford sitting in the corner waiting to take a shot.
Yep. Every single person on that team can score.
Yeah, he and Horford, even at center, is shooting 39% from three.
Yep. And he's continuing.
Like, that's deadly.
He's consistent. He's another one that we don't talk about as far as his age is concerned. He continues to make things happen.
The ageless wonder.
No doubt. So get over to AM 1300 The Zone on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, because our question of the day is, with the Jimmy Butler now with the Warriors, does this make them a championship contender? Hell yeah, hell no. Are you smoking on that Cali? Because I say hell no. That ain't gonna put them in contention because the West is loaded. There's a lot of teams there, but stranger things have happened. When we come back, we got Eric Henry of Horns 24/7. We're going to talk a lot about the Texas football team and that number one recruiting class right here on the Morning Kickoff on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone.
Listen to the Bama Brown Experience on the free iHeart Radio app or at BamaBrownPodcast.com.
Well, we have a fresh accident, I-35 northbound at Boggy Creek Drive, setting you back like 15 minutes. Stop and go traffic back to the 45 toll road. Also, Guadalupe Street at West 45th Street, an accident reported there, and Riverside Drive at South Lakeshore Boulevard, an accident there as well. I'm Alan Craig with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Wish you could save on home insurance? With Allstate, you could easily save and get quality protection. Yep, it's a win-win. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Take the guesswork out of buying and selling your home with Orchard. Will your home sell in time? Which upgrades are worth it? Orchard has the answers for you. It's their move first, sell later program. Buy your new home before selling your old one. Orchard unlocks cash to buy that dream home first. After you're settled in, Orchard sells your old one. Plus, Orchard recommends price-boosting upgrades so you can sell for top dollar. Find out how to buy before you sell at Orchard.com. That is Orchard.com.
Lainey Wilson. The Whirlwind World Tour. Grammy Award-winning Lainey Wilson. Live in concert in Austin with special guests Muscadine Bloodline and Drake Milligan, performing at Moody Center September 18th. Verizon customers get exclusive access to the pre-sale, available now through Thursday at 10 p.m. at livenation.com. For more, visit LaineyWilson.com.
These times of massive inflation have people just like you strapped.
As far as my debt, I was drowning in debt. My balances were never going down. I was making payments every month. It was just draining every resource I had.
The Debt Management Group can help. In the first free call, they will explain all the relief programs you may qualify for to get you out of debt fast.
They saved me thousands of dollars, especially in interest. I would have never paid off this debt without their help.
I felt like it was a burden lifted off my shoulders. It felt amazing, and I felt like I could actually see a future for me and my kids.
The sooner you call, the faster you can get the relief you deserve. It's free information on all the debt relief programs you qualify for, plus guaranteed confidentiality. Call 800-933-3470. That's 800-933-3470. Call now to find out about the best debt forgiveness, consolidation, modification, and settlement programs available. 800-933-3470. That's 800-933-3470.
Grill, patio, sunset. Hard to get better than that. Unless you're browsing Carvana's inventory while you soak it all in.
I could stay here forever.
Carvana's got thousands of cars under $20,000 just waiting for you. Visit Carvana to shop for cars the convenient way.
On Saturday, February 22nd at 1:30 p.m. Eastern, it's the Pro Volleyball Federation's first All-Star match. The league's biggest stars will clash in a can't-miss event hosted in the Indy metro area, home of the Indy Ignite. Catch every serve, spike, and save live on CBS. Don't miss this historic showdown of volleyball's finest. the Pro Volleyball Federation All-Star Match on February 22nd at 1:30 p.m. Be there.
Attention construction superintendents, contractors, and event planners. If you're in the market for a temporary rental fence, call Viking Fence today. The same company that is so reliable with permanent fences can save you time, money, and headaches. Located in Central Texas since 1972, Viking is highly committed to prompt and courteous customer service. Our flexible pricing plans allow you to fix your costs or hit your budget. Ask about our damage waiver rate that will eliminate untimely chargebacks. Excellent work, great service, and an honest reputation. Call Viking Fence today at 837-6411 or visit us online at vikingfence.com. Again, call 837-6411 or visit us at vikingfence.com. When you think temporary rental fence, think Viking.
De'Aaron Fox, 24 points in his first game in silver and black. Spurs clipped the Hawks to snap their two-game slide. The Heat and Jimmy Butler drama finally over. Butler heading to the Warriors as part of a multi-team deal before today's deadline. The Chiefs healthy ahead of their Super Bowl 59 matchup against the Eagles. Current DraftKings line is plus 140 for Kareem Hunt to score any one touchdown. I'm Ronza Moss.
Hey, this is Lincoln Kennedy. Here's what's trending on the iHeart Sports Network.
Presented by Mercedes-Benz.
At Mercedes-Benz, there's a reason they go the extra mile. From testing their vehicles in desert heat and Arctic cold to creating AI that can anticipate your needs and preferences on the road, they demand that every car is worthy of their star because it's Mercedes-Benz.
Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone presents the Craig Way Show. Join Craig Way weekdays from 2 to 5 p.m. only on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone.
Welcome back to the morning kickoff right here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone. It is Thursday, so that means we get to talk to our guy, Eric Henry of Horns 24/7. You can follow him at Eric C. Henry _. And Eric, we'll talk basketball in just a little bit, but we want to talk a lot about this football team. Texas was recognized as the #1 recruiting class in the nation, and Chris Jackson was recognized as the #1 recruiter in the nation. What you think about that, bro?
First off, as always, good morning. Appreciate y'all having me on. Yeah, listen, our publication, or I should say my publication that I work for, 24/7 Sports, has rated Texas with the #1 recruiting class. They had the #1 recruiting class entering the final signing day, but of course, we know with that last national signing day, still weird to say the last national signing day, right? It's just kind of something to get adjusted to. No other program was able to close the gap, and the Longhorns retained having the #1 program #1 recruiting class in the nation. I think it's just a testament to Steve Sarkisian and company. And you talk about Chris Jackson, #1 recruiter. I mean, the thing about it, if you're a Texas fan, actually be excited, is it's not just Chris Jackson, right? Tashard Choice is an ace recruiter. Steve Sarkisian, Kyle Flood, and A.J. Milwee, when it comes to getting quarterbacks, ace recruiter. Kenny Baker, I think, is showing off his skills, right, as a recruiter. That was something that was a question mark when he was hired, saying, hey, how can he do it? He did it at the Group of 5 level, but how can he do it covering? How can he do it coaching a power program like Texas? So Texas has strong recruiters across the board. And again, when you bring in talent, like Michael Terry and Justice Terry and Lance Jackson and Jonah Williams and others, it's no shock that you end up with the #1 recruiting class in the nation. So I think it just bodes well for Texas' future.
How you doing? This is Mark Henry. I'm always checking on the big fellas. What is the big fella that you see in this recruiting class that not only can be a starter, could be one of Texas's most looked at for the future?
Going on, Big Mark. I know you're down there in South Florida. Enjoy that. As far as some of the interior players, on the offensive line, I don't think there are any that are going to step in immediately, right? I mean, you don't necessarily want a true freshman to step in, so I don't see any big fellows there. But on the defensive line, of course, #1 name, right, is Justice Terry, someone who our publication, 24/7 Sports, went ahead and ranked the top 30 freshmen who they think could come and have an impact immediately. Justice Terry was there at number 14. I think, and I still feel strongly about this. I know I came on after the first signing day and talked about Justice Terry and Josiah Sharma and Myron Charles. And I felt comfortable that if Texas needed to play, not necessarily start, but play one or two of those guys at the defensive tackle spot, that they'd be fine. Now, obviously, they've gone out and gotten Cole Brevard, Travis Shaw, and Hero Kanu, veteran defensive tackles from North Carolina, Purdue, and Ohio State, respectively. But I still think Justice Terry is that guy. You know, there's going to be a competition for who's going to get, you know, I wouldn't even say those fourth and fifth defensive tackle snaps, because there's going to be competition to see, hey, if a freshman or a young guy can beat out, you know, one of the veterans for those third or maybe even a starting spot. But Terry, Alex January, the sophomore from last year, is going to come back and compete as well. So I say keep an eye on those two guys, and then of course Myron Charles and Josiah Sharma, as far as big guys who can come in and really get some immediate playing time, just because the position allows for with the graduation of the 5 defensive tackles from last year's team.
We're talking to Eric Henry of Horns 24/7. Make sure you go and follow him at Eric C. Henry _ as he breaks it down and can write some amazing articles over there. So go over there and check it out. Eric, you mentioned Tashard Choice and the fact of him being a great recruiter. And it was good that the Dallas Cowboys weren't great recruiters, because he gets a chance to stay here in Austin. What was his impact being able to stay here at the University of Texas?
Yeah, listen, you know, I don't want to, you know, kind of regurgitate what I said, but obviously him as a recruiter, you take a look at the running back talent that he's acquired over the past few years. But this is what I think kind of, from my perspective, I think is going a little bit under the radar.
Yep.
Let's remember, Texas and being in the SEC, I consider Texas a national brand. I think most people do consider Texas a national brand. Obviously, winning helps that. But as you're expanding into the SEC, you got to have people who can recruit those territories. Yep. Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana. And for all the things that Steve Sarkisian, Chris Jackson, and company are, most of those guys on the staff, with Steve being a Los Angeles guy, they're West Coast guys. I think it was huge for Tashard Choice, because you take a look at the coaching staff that they have. I would say Tashard Choice and Kenny Baker are their two real strongholds into quote unquote the deep South SEC territory. Tashard Choice able to go into Georgia and get talent, go into Florida, get a CJ Baxter. Same thing with Kenny Baker. So I think that, to me, is the aspect. Yes, Tashard Choice is a great coach, right? Does a great job developing his backs, and there are other guys who are out there. You know, had Tashard Choice left, there might have been a Stan Drayton and some other guys out there who Stan Drayton, of course, was with the program prior, who they could have gone out and acquired. But I just think having guys who have those recruiting backgrounds, with Choice and Baker both being from Georgia and able to recruit the Deep South in SEC territory, that's huge.
Man, he's also done a hell of a job with the running back room as far as those guys that are here. Think about what we saw from Trey Wisner, a guy that at the beginning of the season, Coach Sark thought was going to be an instrumental part of what they were going to do, but he got thrust into action and excelled like crazy.
No doubt. Yeah, like I mentioned, as a coach, I mean, he's one of the top 5, top 10 running backs coach in the nation. There's a reason why, again, he's gotten NFL looks and is going to continue to get NFL looks because of the respect he commands from his room and his way, his ability and his way with developing talent.
That's awesome.
Eric, I got a question for you. We spoke in Dallas, and I brought up the point that Texas should bring in an analyst or an offensive run coach that for scripting. What do you think about Texas having somebody to draw up 20 or 30 plays for short yardage and kind of in that Georgia Tech, Army Navy type of running plays?
It's interesting you raised there, Mark, right? So two aspects of it. One, I remember when we talked about it in Dallas, and I still think it's interesting because technically Kyle Flood, Tashard Choice kind of hold those roles of being the run game coordinator, right? Could there be room for an analyst, someone who is, let's analogize it to basketball for a second, right? You typically have 3-4 assistant coaches in college, and one of those coaches usually is your special situations coach, right? Inbounds plays, out of bounds plays, end of possession, end of half plays. Maybe, there could be room for someone who specializes in red zone and goal line. Maybe a former offensive line coach who, really kind of specialized in maybe how you want to block it, or maybe a former running backs coach. But on the flip side of it, you talk about doing it like the Army, the old Georgia Tech, Paul Johnson and whatnot. I can't necessarily go that far, only because that is a very specific offense to coach, a very specific, trying to style you're trying to implement. And to your point, you're not saying you're doing it to the entire offense. Maybe you talk about 10 to 12 plays a game, but that's something very specific. There's a reason why Army, Navy, Air Force, those schools run it so well, right? I don't know how much practice time you'd have to devote to that. That would kind of be so different from what you typically are coaching. But it's an interesting point. I just don't necessarily know that I see it happening because Choice and Kyle Flood kind of hold those roles.
I'm going to let you go with this, E. Texas basketball last night, it was kind of flat in the first half. They played hard in the second half, too little, too late. And speaking of too late, we appreciate you getting up with us this morning, especially because you had a late night. But what was your takeaway from the basketball game last night?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'll try to be quicker. It's two big takeaways. One, Texas squandered an opportunity. You can't let a team like Arkansas, yes, Hall of Fame coach John Calipari, but that was the 14th, in terms of ranked team in the SEC, in terms of the record, coming into Moody Center without Boogie Fland, arguably their top player, and you let John L. Davis go off to the point where, they're calling the Hogs in Moody Center. That you can't have. But the second thing, and this I think is the most important thing, and I wrote this, check it on the site, guys, we're 23 games into the season, and, the team are still trying to figure out what their roles are, right? And I don't necessarily think that's an indictment on Rodney Terry. Look at it this way. You have a Jordan Pope and a Tremont Mark, who were the team's first scorer, the team's first scoring option at their previous schools. Now they're here and they're trying to be, one night you got to be a defensive stopper. One night you got to kind of be an instant offense guy. It's hard when your role is different from night to night. And granted, that is what they expect these guys to do. Rodney Terry talked about being a star in your role. But I do think at their best, Texas could look like a team who could make a Sweet 16 run. At quote unquote their worst, they look like a team who could get bounced in the first four or maybe early in the SEC tournament. I think that's a byproduct of the fact that you just have so many guys coming in. It's hard to be completely different from the player you were at your previous stop the majority of your career. I mean, you guys know this as being former professional athletes, right? If I ask you to have a different role from night to night, it's hard to really develop any level of consistency. So that is something to keep an eye on, because I think, for better or worse for Texas fans, what you saw last night is something that they could be capable of throughout the rest of the year, just because if the matchup calls for it, guys are still getting adjusted to the roles they're being asked to play.
There he is, Eric Henry of Horns 24/7, breaking it down like no other. Get over and follow him at Eric C. Henry _. Thanks, E.
Anytime. Appreciate y'all.
Appreciate it. Man, it's tough to look at a lot of the time, but we're going to work through it. They're going to work through it. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit about New Orleans, the Super Bowl, and Coach Schlossnagle coming up at the top of the hour. Don't go anywhere. The morning kickoff continues in a moment right here on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone.
The voice of the Horns. Craig Way on 1300 The Zone. Weekdays at 2.
Listen to the Bama Brown Experience on the free iHeart Radio app or at BamaBrownPodcast.com.
Well, good morning. We do have an accident reported on 35 northbound at Boggy Creek Drive, setting you back 21 minutes. Also an accident blocking the right lane, 35 southbound at FM 156. That's a 12-minute delay. I'm Alan Craig with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies, offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Perfect for instant contact with an aging parent. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get an extra 60% off, free UPS shipping, and add code RADIO for an extra 5% off.
Want to win 2,000 times your money simply by watching football? With Better Picks, every play will have you on the edge of your seat, as game day just got 2,000 times more exciting. That's right. Better Picks has the highest multipliers in all of daily fantasy, letting you turn $1 into $2,000, $10 into $20,000, all the way up to $100,000 payouts. That's higher than all those other Pick'em fantasy apps.
And it's super simple to use. Just pick a few players, choose more or less on their stats, and follow along live.
Why would you use any other daily fantasy app when you can win 2,000 times your money only on Better Picks? Go to betterpicks.com, BETRPicks.com, or download Better on the app or Play Store and use promo code RADIO to experience the thrill of playing for up to 2,000 times your cash. Plus, new users get up to a $200 match on their first deposit. It's simply better with Better Picks.
Must be 21 or older and in a jurisdiction where Better Picks operates. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned with your play? Call the NCPG at 1-800-522-4700.
Look at all the complaints that our competitors have on their BBB ratings. GimmeTheVin.com is a 5-star rated company. We do what we say we're going to do. It's that easy.
Sell us your car. GimmeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Do you ever find yourself scrolling through social media only to find yourself bombarded by bad news, worse comments, hot takes, picture-perfect families, in yet another humbling professional update? It's hard not to get wrapped up in how everyone else is doing, but imagine how you feel if you spent just 45 minutes focused on how you're doing. Cameron Parker here, and let me tell you about Cerebral. At Cerebral, we make it easier than ever to access dedicated therapists and doctor-prescribed medication personalized to you. And the best part? Cerebral offers in-network care so you can focus on feeling better without worrying about the cost. In fact, 72% of people say they felt better in just 12 weeks. Cerebral makes mental health care easy, accessible, and more affordable, and connects you with expert clinicians. Cerebral is also proud to be an official sponsor of the San Antonio Spurs. So take the first step today. Visit Cerebral.com to see how affordable and accessible mental health care can be with insurance. Cerebral. Make time for Mind Time.
For live radio to have lyrics, that's amazing.
You guys outdid yourselves.
Join the millions already on the new and improved iHeartRadio app.
Can I give it 6 stars?
Find your new favorite feature on the iHeartRadio app today.
iHeartRadio.
Taxes was not knowing your full financial picture. Now Taxes is getting and maximizing your refund all in one place. Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get you the most money back, guaranteed. Then you can do more with all that money, all in Credit Karma. Now this is Taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. Get started today. See guaranteed details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
Get the Apple leasing advantage today. Visit appleleasing.com. That's appleleasing.com.
From the audiovisual consultation studio, this is KDET AM Austin, Sports Radio 1300 The Zone, an iHeart radio station and your home for the horns.
The free iHeartRadio app has over 100 commercial-free stations waiting for you to explore right now, like 70s Rock Ride,
Dream on, teenage wasteland.
Pink Floyd, Eagles, Van Halen, Tom Petty, Zeppelin, and more.
Hey, mama said the way you move gonna make you sweat, gonna make you groove. Sweet home Alabama.
Just open the free iHeartRadio app, search 70s Rock Ride, and listen now. Free never sounded so good.
Sports Radio 1300 The Zone, covering the 40 acres.
Welcome back to the morning kickoff right here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone. Mike Harbaugh, Harge, Khalil, and the world's strongest man, Mark Henry, down in South Florida. And tonight, Mark, we will have a conversation. First off, thank you to Eric Henry of Horns 24/7 for hopping on with us, always breaking it down. We also want to give you an opportunity to win a pair of tickets to go see Ghost August the 14th at the Moody Center. All you got to do is get over to AM 1300 The Zone on the iHeartRadio app, tap the microphone, and leave the word GHOST. Ghost is the word for the day. Leave that on the red microphone and you will get a chance to win a pair of tickets to go see Ghost at the Moody Center August the 14th. Mark, tonight, NFL action will be taking place. What do you mean, Mike? What do you mean, NFL?
What do you mean?
We're talking about NFL honors, as Snoop Dogg will be hosting the NFL honors that recognize the best players, performances, and plays of the 2024-2025 season. It will kick off tonight at 8 p.m. Central Time on Fox and the NFL Network. It will it's interesting to me because now we're going to find out who the true players are. The AP Most Valuable Player, Josh Allen, Saquon Barkley, Joe Burrow, Jared Goff, and Lamar Jackson. Defensive Player of the Year, Zach Braun, Myles Garrett, Trey Hendrickson, Patrick Surtain, TJ Watt. Offensive Player of the Year, Saquon Barkley, Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson. Rookie of the Year, Brock Bowers, Jaden Daniels, Malik Neighbors, Bo Nix, Brian Thomas Jr. Rookie of the Year, Cooper DeJean, Brandon Fisk, Quinnen Mitchell, Chop Robinson, and Jared Verse. Comeback Player of the Year, Sam Darnold, Joe Burrow, J.K. Dobbins, Christian Gonzalez, and DeMar Hamlin. If DeMar Hamlin doesn't win Comeback Player of the Year, I'm not watching football. Well, that's a lie.
Yeah, you're going to watch football.
AP Coach of the Year, Dan Campbell, Kevin O'Connell, Sean Payton, Dan Quinn, Andy Reid. Assistant of the Year, Joe Brady, Vic Fangio, Brian Flores, Ben Johnson, or Aaron Glenn. All that will be announced tonight. I saw yesterday Tom Brady was giving away awards yesterday on his behalf, and he had the MVP going to Lamar Jackson.
That's why my pick too. I told you last week. I was like, how do you not pick a guy that leads in touchdowns? How do you not pick a guy that threw the least amount of interceptions? How do you not pick a guy that almost rushed for 1,000 yards at quarterback?
Yeah. It is interesting to see, but you know how these voters go. There may be some things that happen that people just aren't a part of or not trying to do. So we'll see what ends up happening. But I'm excited to watch these awards, and that's something that we'll be talking about tomorrow. But if you had to pick a player right now to win the Comeback Player of the Year, who are you picking?
Hamlin. He died. Bro, I'm talking about
But did he die?
Died.
Yeah.
He was dead for 4 minutes. And I'm not, it's nothing biblical. It's nothing, I'm not doing that. That's blasphemy. But I'm just saying, from a medical standpoint, nobody else went through what he went through. And to come back, and not only come back, if he came back and he stood on the sideline, I would be like, wow, that's awesome.
He did that the year before.
Right.
Yep. But he got on the field too. He got on the field too.
He got on the field a little bit. This guy got on the field this year and started. Played the entire year. That's got to be good enough. I'm just, if you don't give it to him, then why have the award?
No doubt. I agree with you 100% in that situation, because what we've been able to see in the game of football, we've talked about the violence, we've talked about how crazy it's always been, but then all of a sudden, you got a serious situation that ended up happening. It's something that we're going to end up having to continually look at and think about how he is not the Comeback Player of the Year. Speaking of coming back, week to week, we'll be able to bring back Coach Schlossnagle. That's right. The Texas baseball coach joins us next right here on the Morning Kickoff on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone.
The Zone.
Tossing and turning? Waking up feeling restless? It's time to revolutionize your sleep, and nobody can sell for less than Factory Mattress. Save up to $500 on select adjustable Tempur-Pedic sets and get a $300 free gift. Or get an additional 20% off our factory direct prices on name brands like Sealy, Serta, and more. Start sleeping happier during the President's Day sale at Factory Mattress.
My Factory Mattress.
The cleats have hit the field. Kickoff is here. Game day's arrived and Specs brings the cheers. Ice-cold beers, team-lifting spirits, cocktails in a can. Score 'em all and hear your fellow football fans chant, "You the man." And with Specs' largest selection and lowest prices, you can make every game day feel just as nice. Before the players start running their routes and schemes, run a route to Specs for your game day needs. Specs, cheers to savings.
During these cold weather months, one of the great climate-controlled entertainment options is to head over to Inner Space Caverns in Georgetown for a truly unique experience. Inner Space Caverns is a great place to take the family. You'd be amazed at all of the beautiful formations, large rooms, prehistoric animal bones, and all kinds of creations with a truly unique discovery story right here in the Austin area in the year-round temperature of a very comfortable 72 degrees. You can check out the super exciting Sabertooth Zip Ride or Pan for Gemstones. Take the Wild Cave Tour or the Hidden Passages Tour. And there's a great souvenir gift shop and newly remodeled restrooms. So don't worry about the weather. Stay warm and dry indoors with a trip to Inner Space Caverns. Inner Space Caverns, right off I-35 at exit 259 in Georgetown. That's Inner Space Caverns. For more details, check them out on the web at innerspacecaverns.com. Inner Space Caverns. Check it out. Your adventure awaits.
I am dedicated. I am TNT.
With Team in Training, you will reach your best physical self so blood cancer patients can reach theirs. Change your life by joining a marathon, half marathon, triathlon, or a cycle event, and you'll change the lives of blood cancer patients.
I am committed. I am TNT.
After 600,000 participants and almost $1 billion raised for treatments, TNT has helped the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society make a significant impact in the advancement of blood cancer therapies that save lives every day.
I am making a difference. I am TNT.
Join TNT. Expand your circle of friends to be part of a very special community. Train with world-class trainers and have the chance to be part of the most exciting endurance sports events in the country. Or train on your own schedule with TNT Flex. Join TNT and fundraise while you train, and take part in getting us all closer to a world without blood cancers.
Join TNT now. Go to teamintraining.org.
Hi, welcome to IKEA. How can I help you? My schedule is crazy. I just want some me time. We could all use a sanctuary from stress. Why not turn your bedroom into the place to decompress with our selection of comfortable beds, pillows, decor, mood lighting, and so much more? Every time you step in there, it's nothing but me time. I mean, you time. Sounds like a dream. Here to make your me time dreams come true. Visit us in-store or at ikea-usa.com/sleep to create a comfy, blissful bedroom today.
It's the perfect time to transform your home or business with fresh new color. The team at CertaPro Painters of Greater Austin handles every detail worry-free from start to finish. CertaPro Painters is the painting service you can rely on here in Austin, whether painting inside or out. John Bennell and his team are ready to protect and beautify your space with a fresh coat of paint. Go with the pros at CertaPro Painters of Austin. Get your painting project started today at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C.
From the Audiovisual Consultation Studio, this is KBET AM Austin, AM 1300, The Zone. The great iHeartRadio app for all your sports, podcasts, and music.
The morning kickoff. The morning kickoff.
It's the morning kickoff with Mike Hardball Harge and the world's strongest man, WWE Hall of Famer, Mark Henry, on your home for the Horns, 1300 The Zone.
Welcome back to hour number 2 of the morning kickoff right here on Sports Radio, AM 1300 The Zone. Mike Hardball Harge, the world's strongest man and WWE Hall of Famer, the Mark Henry.
That's right.
It's Thursday, and that can only mean one thing. We will be joined by the head baseball coach of the University of Texas, Coach Schlossnagle. He will be joining us every Thursday throughout the season, talking all things baseball. And, Coach, you had a great turnout for the alumni game, and the excitement of baseball was back in the air.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, guys. Yeah, it was awesome. What a great day. Obviously, the weather was incredible. The fans came out even early. We had an autograph session that started 4 hours before the game, and that was packed. And then the older guys played or took BP. The younger guys took BP, and then our team took batting practice, and then we had a great game. So perfect day, and very, very, very thankful, especially to the fans, but also super thankful to the players, the pro guys who stayed out there for 9 innings. That really helped our team.
Yeah, that was an impressive part too, Coach, because I was out there walking around, taking it all in. It felt like it was a regular season game. I'm sure it's going to be even more packed, obviously, once the baseball season kicks off. But the impact of having those guys come back, giving back, not accepting, but welcoming you as the head coach of the University of Texas is something that I think a lot of universities looked at what was happening with Texas, and now they may be starting to do some things like this.
Yeah, I mean, the love for the program is just so elite here, and I think University of Texas has always been such a baseball school, I guess you'd call it. Obviously, football and our other sports are doing amazing as well. But the tradition here that Coach Dish, Falk, Coach Gus, Augie, Coach Pierce, the foundation that they've laid, and it's family for sure. And with regard to alumni games, everybody used to do them. We did them at TCU for a very long time, and then a couple pro guys got hurt, and especially the pitchers, and those pro organizations shut that down for the pitching for sure. But one cool thing, Troy Tulowitzki mentioned this to me, and I thought it was a great point that I had never thought about. Is the major league teams specifically look at Texas's alumni game as just such an awesome thing that they actually encourage their players to play in it, and so that's super unique, and it's a great dress rehearsal for us, and it's a great opportunity for our players to look across the field and see what they're capable of becoming, not just as players, but successful in business and other areas of life.
Coach, there have been coaches that came to the 40 acres that didn't want input or outside the former UT talent to come back because they feel like they would undermine what they were saying. You are not of that ilk. Do you feel like that having the former Longhorns come back is also helping integrate the old with the new and making your job easier?
Well, it certainly doesn't make it harder. I mean, like I've said on here with you guys before, the program first belongs to the players and the former players. That's who the program belongs to, and then in my opinion, it belongs to the fans. And so, my goal, every place I've been, but especially here, sometimes they'll tend to identify with their coach and like their era, and that can kind of create a separation when they're all Texas Longhorn baseball players. And I want them to feel that. I want them to know they're welcome. I want them in the ballpark because those can be your greatest ambassadors. I mean, I think we have 9 Board of Regents maybe at the University of Texas, something like that, and 2 of them are former baseball players. I mean, how crazy is that? And usually they're not even athletes, and we have actually 2 baseball players. So it's just such a, baseball's such a big deal here. You feel it, and it's an honor to have those guys back and get to know them and have their support. I mean, I want them to know our story. I want them to know what we're trying to do here, the challenges we face, and certainly the championships we hope to win.
We're talking to the head baseball coach of the University of Texas, Coach Jim Schlossnagle. He will be joining us on Thursdays throughout the season, and the season's right around the corner, Coach. It's going to be here before you know it. The preseason rankings have you anywhere from number 7 to number 19 to number 24. I mean, you guys are all over the board, but it doesn't really matter what the preseason says. Is once the season gets started. There were some guys that made some impressions this past weekend with the way that they were swinging the bat. What was your takeaway after the game when you got a chance to really sit back and get away from all the hoopla of everybody being here, but just really watching baseball?
Yeah, a lot of really good takeaways. I was really proud of the new players, whether they be freshmen or the transfers. The fact that we had such a great crowd and we had a big game production going on. Our game ops and marketing people just did an incredible job. We had the live mics on the field, which you see in the All-Star game, and so it was really a sight to see. And all those things can get a player's heart rate jacked up to the point where they don't perform well. And we spend a lot of time, effort, and money in the mental game, and the basis of the mental game is you can't be in control of your performance unless you're in control of yourself. And so I was really proud of the way, Cole Chamberlain, Adrian Rodriguez, Dylan Valanis starting the game against all those current great professional players. Aiden Moffitt coming in and just filling a transfer from LSU that's got a great arm and just filled up the strike zone, punched out the side, I think. So it's just there was a lot of good takeaways. I think we're going to be a team that we have to keep our best players healthy, and we have to be just like any team. We're going to have to ride out the ups and downs of the season. And when you're starting out your season in the tournament that we're playing next weekend, that's going to be you're going to find out real quick kind of where you stand and what you need to get better at, and hopefully some things we're good at.
Speaking of next weekend, you will be at the Shiners Children College Showdown at Globe Life Field. You'll be taking on Louisville, Ole Miss, and Oklahoma State. They're coming in just like everybody else with high aspirations and ready to get this season started. But, you got to go up there and handle your business. You're going to learn a lot about your team. Texas has been in this tournament for quite some time. You've been in the SEC for a while and understand what it's looking like. So going up into this tournament this weekend, I know you're going to try to win, but what are you hoping to see from your young squad?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, the beauty of this particular tournament is it's indoors, and so even though the weather's different, as a college baseball coach this time of year, unless you're in San Diego or Miami, I guess, you're always just praying that you get to play. And so for us, we're going to get to play. We're going to get to be in front of big crowds. We play if you're going to call it the night game, the showcase game, we play the 6:30 game every single night. And that's the power of the brand of Texas. So the crowds should be great. But I just, I want to see us play well. I want to see us do what we did this past weekend and stay in control of our emotions. We're going to face awesome pitching. Oklahoma State, Louisville. I mean, they have all-American players. Ole Miss has got an entirely new team. And I think they're really going to have a good club. And so, it's just going to be an incredible challenge. And I've been a part of this tournament and done really well, and you can really take confidence from the rest of the year. And I've been a part of these tournaments where it doesn't go your way, you can't panic, and you just learn from it. There's no losing. I mean, if we lose, we lose, but you try to learn from it. It's more about learning than it is, the result early on.
Coach, you said there were a lot of things that went well. Can we single out a couple of things offensively and defensively? Who looked the best in the game to you?
I think I'm really impressed right now. Will Gasparino is a different player, at least in this moment. His challenge is going to be taking that into the real games. He's controlling the strike zone. He's getting his swing off. He got rung up on a strike three that wasn't a strike, which is part of baseball. And then his next at bat, he stayed on a baseball, hit a line drive to right field. We all know he's got big time power. but we're trying to help him become a complete hitter. At the basis of our philosophy, and this is going to sound kind of like a duh moment, is to swing at the strikes and take the balls and control the strike zone. And he did a really good job with that. Obviously, Chamberlain and Rodriguez had good games. I thought Jalen Flores played really, really well. And a big highlight was at the tail end when a lot of people had left is Will Mercer, really good pitcher from Notre Dame that was on the team last year. And I know Coach Pierce had super high hopes for him. And right before the season, he blew out his elbow and had to have Tommy John surgery. So the fact that he was throwing strikes up to 97 miles an hour, that obviously we'll see if he can maintain that over a season. But those were super big highlights for us.
Coach, the next time we talk to you, you'll be ready to head to Arlington to take on the Louisville Cardinals. And you're right, all games will be 7 o'clock, and 6:30 on Sunday. As always, man, I really enjoyed talking to you, and I'm more excited because baseball season is here.
Thank you, Coach.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you guys. Have a great weekend. Hook 'em.
You too. There he is, Coach Schlossnagle, breaking it down. And next week, baseball is here, folks, 8 days away from the first pitch of the college baseball season. When we come back, we will be in New Orleans. That's right. We'll talk to our guy, Stephen Foster, as he is boots on the ground in New Orleans, right here on the Morning Kickoff on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone.
The Craig Way Show, weekdays at 2. Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, Bills. That's Bills. Enter it now. Ready? AM 1300, The Zone.
Listen to the Bama Brown Experience on the free iHeart Radio app or at BamaBrownPodcast.com.
Well, we still have that wreck causing a 29-minute delay, 35 northbound at Boggy Creek Drive, stop-and-go traffic all the way back to the 45 toll road there. Also, an accident blocking the right lane, 35 southbound at FM 150. That's a 12-minute delay. We also have an accident report at Guadalupe Street at West 45th Street. I'm Alan Craig with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by the Austin RV Expo.
Embrace the RV lifestyle. It's the Austin RV Expo, February 13th through 16th. All your favorite local dealers under one roof with the biggest selection of the year. The Austin RV Expo. Get your tickets at austinrvexpo.com.
Introducing Love Austin. Professional volleyball like you have never seen it before. You saw them on silver in Paris this summer. Now you can see them playing for the first time on American soil. Love Austin Volleyball will feature some of the best players in the world, including two-time Olympic medalist Chiaka Abagu. Get ready for First Serve on January 15th at the HEB Center. Visit lovb.com for tickets. Volleyball is the next major league.
Not thinking about radio? Think again. Because more people are listening to the radio on iHeart today than they did 20 years ago. And only iHeart Broadcast Radio connects with more Americans than TV, digital, social, any other media, even twice as many teens than TikTok. Think radio can help your business? Think iHeart. Streaming, podcasting, and radio. Call 844-844-iHeart to get started. That's 844-844-iHeart.
The comfort of your favorite seat is now also your comfy car-selling throne thanks to Carvana.
That's nice.
Just enter your license plate or VIN and get a real offer in seconds.
There's no place like home.
Visit Carvana to sell your car from your comfy place.
Joe Montana here. In my football days, I knew the importance of a strong defense. Now I'm sharing how you can help defend your health against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease. Are you 50 or older like me? The CDC now recommends vaccination against pneumococcal disease. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at increased risk and over 6 times greater risk of hospitalization with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50. Schedule your appointment today at vaxassist.com.
Sponsored by Pfizer. No two people learn the exact same way. So how did Babbel become the award-winning language learning app? We thought of you, all of you. Take Sierra. As a visual learner, she uses Babbel's wordplay videos.
Today I'll share a quick lesson on shopping in French.
Merci beaucoup. Keith is a be in the room with real people kind of learner, so he loves the live online classes with our language experts.
Okay, class. ¿Vos está pronto?
Estamos prontos.
However you learn, Babbel makes it easy. Try Babbel for free at babbel.com. BABBEL.com.
Order for Jennifer C.
Is this my double shot, double cream, double froth, double pump, double whip, double sleeve?
Yeah. Can you handle that much caffeine?
Did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Oh, really? That's great.
Seriously, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Yeah, you just said that.
Did you say I just said that?
Yeah, I'm cutting you off.
I can't have any more? Why not?
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
Not all products are available in all 50 states. Compounded products are not FDA approved nor verified for safety, efficacy, or quality. Wegovy and Ozempic are not compounded. Prescription required. Restrictions apply. See website for full details.
Why try Hims for weight loss? If you're interested in personalized prescription options, including Ozempic, Wegovy, oral medications, and compounded GLP-1 injections, and the support to see real results, you might like it. Why try Hims to regrow hair? If a range of treatment options made with clinically proven ingredients like minoxidil and finasteride for thicker, fuller hair in 3 to 6 months sound good, you might like it. Why try Hims for ED? If you've been looking for access to doctor-trusted treatments like Viagra, Cialis, and their more affordable generic counterparts, you and your partner might like it. The Hims process is simple, 100% online, and treatments are shipped free to your door in discreet packaging if prescribed. What's not to like? To save big on weight loss, hair loss, and ED solutions, get started today at hims.com. That's hims.com.
Sports Radio 1300 The Zone, your home for the Texas Longhorns.
He is a former athlete. He's also my attorney. That's right. He's also laying down the law Sunday from 7 to 9 a.m. in San Antonio, El Paso. He's all over the place, but he's one of my dudes, and I can't wait to chop it up with him. His name is Steve Foster, and you can follow him at Foss_sports, and he is boots on the ground in NO. Steve, what has it been like being in New Orleans for the Super Bowl this week?
Hard. Good morning, good morning, good morning. What do you say? Pflugerville, Austin, Killeen, everybody in Central Texas, baby. You and Brother Mark Henry holding it down. Every time I take my kids to school, I got y'all on. Let me tell y'all this. Y'all have saved me and got my kids to Highland Park Elementary because y'all got that great traffic report, too, mixed in with the sports news, man. That has saved me with that 35 joint within 25-minute delays because if you miss and I don't get them there by 30, 35 after, then I got to do all the clips. So much love to the program, top to bottom, and your boy on the board ops, Khalil. So it's good to hear his voice. But it is Super Bowl 59. This rematch, this one is going to be, it's like Top Gun. I thought the second Top Gun was better than the first, believe it or not. And I believe this is what's going to happen on Sunday.
Well, I'm looking at that too. I think that the second Top Gun was better than the first one too. Jalen Hurts, I guess he would have to be Goose. Who would Patrick Mahomes be?
Patrick might. Well, here's the thing. You got two Texas quarterbacks, right? So the state really can't lose. It's kind of North versus South, Channel View versus White House or Tyler, for folks that may not know where that is, White House is. But, you know, I think it's Saquon is what makes the difference in this sequel, you know, because you heard all the chatter, y'all, about this apparent devaluation of a running back. Well, it may be in the fact that you don't take one in the first round like maybe we did when we were growing up. However, they make the last 4 to 6 minutes of a half or a game so important, and they could keep Patrick Mahomes Mark, off the field. That's really the secret sauce for the Eagles, taking advantage of all the weapons they have.
We're talking to Steve Foster, and you can follow him at Foss_sports. Steve, I wanted to ask this too, man. I mean, the energy around this game is something that a lot of folks continue to talk about the officiating, and I think that is poor to talk about. I think the biggest thing about this game is both of these defenses are solid. We had the show yesterday, and we were talking about the comparison of Jalen Carter to Chris Jones, a younger Chris Jones, in the effectiveness on it. Do you think this is going to come down to the defensive line play?
You know, it always does. When the game of football was invented, and I think to really have an appreciation for anything, but in sports in particular, you have to understand and recognize the history. And the draft is going to be up in the frozen tundra of Lambeau. And if you go back to the Acme Packers back in the early 1900s, they were running the football. The great Vince Lombardi has one of my favorite quotes of NFL history. You get a steal here, you get a seal here, and you run the ball up. Well, the defensive lines are going to have to stop a running back by committee in Kansas City, the defending champs, and then a monster in Saquon Barkley for Philadelphia. And to me, he who wins the line of scrimmage tends to win a football game.
Mark?
Man, I 100% unequivocally believe what you just said was correct. Whoever wins the running game and whoever can stop the running game is going to be the winner of the game. I asked Harge last week, what did he think would be the key to the game? And he said exactly what you just said, possession of the ball. Who possesses the ball the most is going to win. Harge, who do you think is going to be that guy or that team?
I mean, like we talked about before, I still believe whoever has the ball last is going to win the ball game. It's just the way that both of these teams are set up. But Foss, you've been talking to a lot of people down there, and what is the consensus from the majority of the guests that you guys have had on your show and just walking around town talking to different folks?
Well, it's funny, God is a very ultimate being. And to me, I thought the X factors with all the talk could be a guy like Dallas Goedert, because he blocked for Saquon. But if Nick Bolton and those guys start trying to stop him and Dallas Goedert releases, I think Jalen Hurts now has a weapon that could be roaming free. Clearly on the other side, even if Travis Kelce is quiet for 3 quarters, he can hurt you in that last 15 minutes. We had 3 tight ends that we interviewed yesterday, one being Dennis Pitta of the Baltimore Ravens Super Bowl 35 champion, Todd Heap, that folks know him out of Arizona State. And then we had Pat Carter from Florida State, who played with Dion and those guys back in the day and played against some formidable opponents. As crazy as it all sounds, it could come down to tight end play, because they have so much to do in the running game, like we just talked about. But those guys get down on those seam routes, y'all, and they're open in the middle. That could be the difference. And it hurt me because they play all the Super Bowl replays, and I saw the one where our boy Jackie Smith dropped the ball against the Steelers, dang near cried, just watching it, bringing up bad memories. That in the defense and special teams could be all the difference, because Hurts and Mahomes at quarterback are going to make plays.
Mark?
Can you hear me?
Now we can, yeah.
Okay. I guess I muted myself. I'm hoping to see, Foss, I'm hoping to see this game be highly competitive, but I really want to see Patrick Mahomes do a three-peat. And despite the fact that people are tired of the Chiefs, I think that that's been something that's happened for the last 30 years. People were tired of San Francisco. People were tired of Dallas. People were tired of the Patriots. And now it's only fitting that that hate and being tired of the Chiefs happened because of all the success they've had lately.
1,000%. And as much as I think it would be cool to have another Texas quarterback high on the mantle for the Eagles, as Nick Foles did it the first time for him. You know what's crazy too, right? McNabb, Randall Cunningham, Ron Jaworski, but it was Nick Foles who brought the Lombardi Trophy to Jeff Lurie and the Philadelphia Eagles. It would be refreshing to see Jalen Hurts, another Texas high school quarterback, do it. But Mark, I'm with you. I would love to see Patrick Mahomes be the only one to go 3 in a row.
Wave the Texas flag.
He works hard. You know, people say, and my co-host Chris Fernandez, he's always swearing the refs are on his side. You can't go to 7 AFC. If the NFL was going to rig something and cheat, they would do it for the Cowboys because we so far back in the pack, and we're supposedly America's team. We're nowhere close to a championship game or the Super Bowl.
No doubt. Steve, we're going to let you go with this because we're up against it. What is something that you've eaten down there that's really, really good that you hadn't had before?
I went with the oysters. I went with the oysters at the media party. They had this oyster toast, and it was a blend of herbs and seasoning, and the oyster on the baguette toast, off the chain.
Ooh, next time you see something like that, get a picture and send it to your boy.
No, you and Mark need to come to Super Bowl 60 in San Fran and need to be with us tasting the food yourself at the media party on Tuesday.
Right.
That's what I'm going to tell y'all.
That sounds like a plan, man. We're going to work on that starting today. We'll start looking at it. Man, as always, enjoy yourself, and we'll chop it up when you get back.
That sounds great. Gentlemen, thanks for the time today.
There he is, Steve Foster, NNO, having a good old time. Coming up next, you know what time it is. It's time for the World's Strongest Take, brought to you by the World's Strongest Men, right here on the Morning Kickoff on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone.
Listen to the Bama Brown Experience on the free iHeartRadio app or at BamaBrownPodcast.com.
We have a 30-minute delay. 35 northbound at Boggy Creek Drive, an accident reported there. Also, another accident, 35 northbound at McCarty Lane. That's setting you back 3 minutes there. Another accident blocking the right lane, setting you back 8 minutes, this time 35 southbound at Tech Ridge Boulevard. I'm Alan Craig with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Randall's. Save on big game essentials when you shop with digital coupons at Randall's. This week at Randall's, get 12 packs of Coke, Dr. Pepper, or Pepsi for $4.77 each with digital coupon, and 32-ounce Velveeta cheese for $4.97 each with digital coupon.
With your busy schedule, there's no way you have time for all those complicated fantasy lineups. But there is time to win up to 2,000 times your money on Better Picks. With Better Picks, you can jump in fast and pick more or less on your favorite player's stats for a chance to win up to 2,000 times your cash, all in the time it takes to listen to this commercial.
Pick, tap, and win. That's it. Others might stop at 100 times payouts, but with Better Picks, your winnings can soar up to 2,000 times payouts. Turn that $10 bill in your glove box into $20,000 right now. That's real excitement.
So don't forget, if it's game day, it's a Better Picks day. Crank up the excitement with Better Picks and play for huge cash payouts. Go to betterpicks.com, BETRpicks.com, or download Better on the app or Play Store and use promo code RADIO to play for up to 2,000 times your cash. Plus, new users get up to a $200 match on their first deposit. It's simply better with Better Picks.
Must be 21 or older and in a jurisdiction where Better Picks operates. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned with your play? Call the NCPG at 1-800-522-4700.
Looking for the perfect place to get a bite to eat before or after the game? Vaqueros Cafe and Cantina has you covered. With locations on 360 in Westlake or Quinlan Park Road in Steiner Ranch, both offer the perfect place to pregame or celebrate after the game. We use only the finest, freshest ingredients. Mouth-watering fajitas, fresh seafood, char-grilled oysters, and queso you'll want to eat by the gallon. Happy hour, dinner with family and friends, private events, Vaqueros Cafe and Cantina is the place. Visit vaqueroscafe.com. Tex-Mex done right.
There's no better place to buy your new Chevy than Hanna Chevrolet. Right now, we have the biggest discounts in the last 5 years. Plus, 0 for 60 months is available on a large selection of vehicles. As an Austin original since 1936, Henna Chevrolet has been treating customers right and saving them some serious money. For straightforward, all-inclusive pricing, together let's drive at Henna Chevrolet or Henna.com.
Earl Campbell here for my good friends at Austin Shoe Hospital. Austin Shoe Hospital has been repairing my favorite boots and shoes for over 30 years. They are the best Western boot repair company in Texas and can repair any boot brand or style. Visit the master cobblers at Austin Shoe Hospital and they will bring all your shoes, boots, and bags back to life. If you can wear it, they can repair it. Oh, yes, and hook 'em horns.
Visit AustinShoeHospital.com.
On Saturday, February 22nd at 1:30 p.m. Eastern, it's the Pro Volleyball Federation's first All-Star match. The league's biggest stars will clash in a can't-miss event hosting the Indy metro area, home of the Indy Ignite. Catch every serve, spike, and save live on CBS. Don't miss this historic showdown of volleyball's finest. The Pro Volleyball Federation All-Star Match on February 22nd at 1:30 p.m. Be there.
Were you uninvited to game night? Do you play board games with the ferocious intensity of an iron-fisted oligarch? Have friends left game night asking, how do you sleep at night? Then you should get a mattress from Mattress Firm. They can help anyone sleep. Right now, during Mattress Firm's President's Day sale, save up to $500 on Tempur-Pedic, plus get a $300 instant gift. Get matched at Mattress Firm. Sleep at night. Restrictions apply. See store or mattressfirm.com for details.
From the ABA Heating and Cooling Weather Center, this is Zone Weather.
Your Austin weather. Cloudy skies for your Thursday morning. Partly cloudy this afternoon. A high near 80. Partly cloudy tonight. A low of 65. Friday, morning clouds. Afternoon sunshine. A high in the upper 70s.
This report is sponsored by Randall's. Save on big game essentials when you shop with digital coupons at Randall's. This week at Randall's, get 12 packs of Coke, Dr. Pepper, or Pepsi for $4.77 each with digital coupon, and 32-ounce Velveeta cheese for $4.97 each with digital coupon.
Get ready for Super Bowl 59 with iHeart, the official partner of the NFL Podcast Network.
This is Cam Jordan from the NFL Podcast Network show, Off the Edge with Cam Jordan.
Join Cam and other podcasts like NFL Daily, NFL Players Second Acts, and more.
We'll all be recording live from New Orleans this week. Make sure to open the iHeart app and search NFL to hear all the action and the biggest guests.
Getting you ready for the Super Bowl with the NFL Podcast Network. Just open the free iHeart app and search NFL to start listening now.
Back to Harge and Henry in the morning kickoff on 1300 The Zone.
Before we get into, you know what time that beat is, but we got breaking news out of the 40 acres. Mark, do not us. Breaking news. Georgia Tech is set to hire Texas associate head coach and safety coach Blake Gideon as its new defensive coordinator. Sources tell Chip Brown and for CBS Sports and 24/7 Sports. He will now be the defensive coordinator for the Georgia Tech wrangling wreck of Georgia Tech. But you heard that beat drop. You know what that means? That can only mean one thing. WWE Hall of Famer and the world's strongest man, Mark Henry, brings you the world's strongest take. Take it away, big fella.
Hard.
Yes, sir.
You know what time it is?
What time is it?
It's time for the world's strongest take from the world's strongest man. Khalil, back then they didn't know me. Now I'm hot. They all on me. And I love the song, A Rambling Wreck of a Georgia Tech is a hell of an engineer. Good school for engineering. Anyway, I digress. Guys, my take today is who won the whole battle behind all of the trades that happen in the NBA. And I'm going to start with number 5. Number 5, the Milwaukee Bucks. They added an athletic defensive center in Jericho Sims. He can cover 3 positions. He's a former Longhorn, and he's going to be crucial in the plan to take the Bucks into the playoffs, allowing Giannis Antetokounmpo to play power forward at times and create mismatches. And number 4, the Raptors. They added Brandon Ingram and put him with Scotty Barnes, 2 rangy athletic centers, forwards, small forwards with different, and both of them have different skill set that I think is really going to complement each other. And then you get to number 3, the Golden State Warriors. No more as the world turns, as Jimmy Butler creates defensive mismatches for 2 guards and small forwards, and you add his level of intensity with the intensity of Draymond Green, who also can play small forward, power forward, and at times Draymond plays center. At 6'7", playing center means he's a dog. And then you get to number 2. And some people say you can flip a coin, and whichever you pick, you win. But I'm going to say the Mavericks. Having Anthony Davis play power forward with Gafford playing center and Kyrie Irving playing point guard with Klay Thompson playing 2 or 3. They also have Tim Hardaway Jr. who can fill it up. That team is going to be dangerous. They're going to be a playoff team that's going to vie to be in the championship of the West. And number 1, adding Luka to the Los Angeles Lakers, playing with LeBron James in that 3-head monster system that they've put together. And on top of that, adding a center who's a young 23-year-old athletic 7-foot guy, 250 pounds, that is averaging a double-double and plays really, really good defense. I feel like the Lakers set themselves up to not only make the playoffs and have a strong run and get into the championship game, but now the Lakers should make it to the final and play against the Boston Celtics, and we'll have that old school rivalry back, Celtics versus Lakers. What say you, Hart?
No, I mean, you can't deny that certain teams won. I still believe that the Dallas Mavericks in the immediate are the true winners of this of these trades. I think that they've put themselves in a place that a victory in the finals can happen this year. I believe that Anthony Davis is going to be a motivated Anthony Davis. He's playing with a person in Kyrie that is that type of dude at the point guard. He is another one that likes to have the basketball in his hand. Anthony Davis wanted to be a 4. He is now a 4. He's got 1, not 2, but 3 people that could play in the post for him. I just believe that the winner of the immediate trade was the Dallas Mavericks. I think long term, yeah, I'll put your Lakers moves into that meeting. Here's the unique thing though. What did Anthony Davis tell what did Anthony Davis tell the Lakers that he wanted the entire time?
That he wanted to play power forward.
And he wanted them to go out and get a big, right?
Right. He wanted them to go out and get a center that can play defense and let him score more.
What did they do? They didn't do it. Now all of a sudden they go out and get it. Now they go and get it. He leaves town and now you go and get a 7'2" dude to play defensive stopper. Because they realized we failed on this, but now we can go and get a guy. Now, I know on paper he looks great, but if you ask some people in Charlotte, the reason why he became expendable was because he's so inconsistent. See, everybody's getting these guys to go play with LeBron that are inconsistent. Luka, one of the greatest players in the game, he's got some other things that are happening off the court that we don't know about, He's a great teammate because not one person has said anything bad about Luka. But there's just something about him that a team like Dallas didn't want to risk it. Now you go out and get Mr. Williams. There's something about him that made him expendable that they would give up a 7'2" center to send him to the Lakers.
Mark Williams is a really good player, Harge, and inconsistent is not his fault. Inconsistency in Charlotte is not his fault because they are an inconsistent franchise. They don't know week to week what identity they want to have with the players that they want to have. They have players that are star players that are unhappy there. They're like the Cleveland Browns of the NBA. Now Mark Williams is going to be a lob threat. He's going to be with LeBron James and Luka. He's going to look like $1 million because they're going to put him in a position for success.
Well, I hope they don't have to ask for change. We'll see about the $1 million. We'll close out the show and send you to Dan Patrick right here on the morning kickoff on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone.
The Longhorns' journey continues all season long.
Julian Larry out to Johnson. Long contested three. It hits bottom.
Hear 'em, hook 'em.
Out front, Kent. A high arcing three is good for Jason Kent.
On 1300 The Zone.
Kaluma, a rebound, turnaround slam. NBA range three, and it's good. Step back three, it's good.
1300 The Zone.
Tremont, a long range three, and it's good.
Home of Longhorns basketball.
Listen to the Bama Brown Experience on the free iHeartRadio app or at BamaBrownPodcast.com.
We have a 30-minute delay. 35 northbound at Boggy Creek Drive, an accident reported there. Also, another accident, 35 northbound at McCarty Lane. That's setting you back 3 minutes there. Another accident blocking the right lane, setting you back 8 minutes, this time 35 southbound at Tech Ridge Boulevard. I'm Alan Craig with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by the Austin RV Expo.
Embrace the RV lifestyle. It's the Austin RV Expo, February 13th through 16th. All your favorite local dealers under one roof with the biggest selection of the year. The Austin RV Expo. Get your tickets at austinrvexpo.com.
The cleats have hit the field. Kickoff is here. Game day's arrived and Specs brings the cheers. Ice-cold beers, team-lifting spirits, cocktails in a can. Score 'em all and hear your fellow football fans chant, "You the man." And with Specs' largest selection and lowest prices, you can make every game day feel just as nice. Before the players start running their routes and schemes, run a route to Specs for your game day needs. Specs. Cheers to savings.
Hi, I'm Jenny Covert. Welcome to Covert Chevrolet in beautiful Bastrop, Texas, where small town values drive big time savings. At Covert Bastrop, we understand what matters to you most. A good deal, great service, and dealing with people you trust. What matters to you matters to us. Rooted in family values since 1909, the Coverts have been serving Central Texas for 6 generations. We want to be your car dealer. Let us prove it. Covert Chevrolet, Highway 71 in Bastrop. Together, let's drive. CovertBastrop.com.
Cars today are built to last, but how they look is up to you, and that's where Mako comes in. They specialize in cosmetic repairs. Let's say it's affordable paint jobs to fixing those annoying dents and dings. Maybe your car's paint is faded, or you've been meaning to fix that scrape from the grocery store parking lot. Whatever it is, Mako has you covered. Now, here's the best part. Stop by your local Mako, free estimate, and you're going to find out how easy it is to refresh your ride. With more Americans keeping their cars longer, now's the time to protect your investment and keep it looking sharp for years. And you can do so with the great folks at Mako. At Mako, they are proud to be a trusted partner for drivers across the country. Whether it's a fresh coat of paint for your car or fixing up everyday dents and dings, Mako is here to keep your car looking its best. Get started, visit your local Mako today, get the free estimate, and see how easy it is to bring new life to your ride. Uh-oh, Better get Mako.
Taxes was not knowing your full financial picture. Now Taxes is getting and maximizing your refund all in one place. Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get you the most money back, guaranteed. Then you can do more with all that money, all in Credit Karma. Now this is Taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. Get started today. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
Favorite station, preset. Favorite artist, preset. Favorite podcast, preset.
We know you're loving the new preset feature on the new and improved iHeartRadio app. See it now, along with even more great features. It's everything you love about your car radio in the palm of your hand.
iHeartRadio. Do you ever find yourself scrolling through social media only to find yourself bombarded by bad news, worse comments, hot takes, picture-perfect families in yet another humbling professional update? It's hard not to get wrapped up in how everyone else is doing, but imagine how you feel if you spent just 45 minutes focused on how you're doing. Cameron Parker here, and let me tell you about Cerebral. At Cerebral, we make it easier than ever to access dedicated therapists and doctor-prescribed medication personalized to you. And the best part? Cerebral offers in-network care so you can focus on feeling better without worrying about the cost. In fact, 72% of people say they felt better in just 12 weeks. Cerebral makes mental health care easy, accessible, and more affordable, and connects you with expert clinicians. Cerebral is also proud to be an official sponsor of the San Antonio Spurs. So take the first step today. Visit Cerebral.com to see how affordable and accessible mental health care can be with insurance. Cerebral. Make time for Mind Time.
Get the Apple Leasing Advantage today. Visit appleleasing.com. That's appleleasing.com.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
Sports Radio 1300 The Zone, your home for the Horns.
Another great show that we've had today. Outstanding work. We had a lot of conversation about the NBA football in just a moment. Eric Henry of Horns 24/7 breaking it down. As I said, Texas safeties coach Blake Gideon will be leaving the 40 acres and now headed to Georgia Tech, the rambling wreck of Georgia Tech. Outstanding work that he's been able to do. Texas defense finished the season ranked number 3 nationally. You earn these opportunities, and we were talking about camaraderie and the coaching staff. The only way that these things have changed is strictly because of the fact that these guys are getting promotions. They're not trying to leave because they're getting fired or they're doing a subpar job. They're leaving because they're getting opportunities to be head coaches, coordinators, and this is another opportunity for Blake Gideon, Mark.
Yeah, I'm very sad that somebody of Blake's caliber is leaving. But I'm happy for him because now he's going to be a defense coordinator. He's going to be the guy that's going to be able to build his resume to even possibly not only being a head coach in college football or being a coordinator in the NFL. So congratulations to one of the Texas Longhorn legends.
And think about what he was able to do recruiting-wise. We talk a lot about what Tashard Choice meant to that running backs room. Think about what Blake Gideon meant to the secondary. Think about what Blake Gideon meant to that safeties room. You go out and you get yourself an Andrew Makuba. You recruit a Derek Williams Jr. You transform some of the guys. And look at what Michael Taft was able to achieve under that leadership and that guidance. It's not to be pushed to the side on the growth that this Texas football team was able to show behind a guy like Blake Gideon, Jelani McDonald from the 254 doing his thing. I mean, Texas safety room got a lot of depth. They've got a lot of talent that's in it. and they're going to be left in a great spot.
Well, I mean, it's also Texas. So there's a lot of people waiting in line to try to get a job here at this university. So I'm sure that Texas is not going to wait very long. They're going to go after the best of the best in the country at safety and try to bring somebody in.
No doubt about it. Don't forget, tonight, the Texas women's basketball team have a huge matchup against Vanderbilt. That game is tonight. You can also hear it on 103.1 FM to listen to all women's basketball games there. That game tips off tonight at 8 o'clock. You can watch it on the SEC network. Rory Harmon was just recognized as she's a candidate for the Defensive Player of the Year. We've talked about what she brings to the table every single time. She is a defensive stopper. She gets after it. She applies pressure, and she shot the ball well the last game. So I'm excited to watch this basketball game. Vanderbilt is ranked number 24 in the country.
Yeah, they ranked number 24, but they playing in a hard conference. I feel like that, outside of the conference, they will have a lot easier time. But Texas is not going to run into any slouches. It's just like the men. Everybody in the SEC is tough, and you just have to bring your A game. I think Texas and Coach Vic will have the team ready to play.
Yeah, I have no doubt that Coach Vic will have this team ready to play. Another person that's going to need to get his team ready to play is Rodney Terry. The Texas men's basketball team came up short against an old rival in Arkansas. This is a big week for Texas. They get a chance to go on the road to Nashville. They will take on Vanderbilt on Saturday. They got to rebound, and not just on the court. They got to rebound defensively. Yeah, exactly. Go ahead.
They have to rebound from this loss. Sorry for the delay. There's a delay in the Wi-Fi here. It seems like I'm missing Hard and Hard is missing me. But I really do feel like Texas has to rebound. Not in the sense of go and get balls, but you lost, let it go, move on to the next, and try to improve on the things that you didn't succeed at the last game.
Some of the positives that came out of that game, Trey Johnson, 25 points again. Arthur Kaluma had a double-double with 12 points and 13 rebounds. Caden Shedrick was a little banged up. He had 10 points and 8 rebounds. And Julian Larry had an 11-point game with 3 assists and 3 turnovers, so that kind of washes it out. But this Texas basketball team will be ready to go. Devin Pryor looked a little gimpy, rolled his ankle twice during that game last night. Let me just tell you this. There were a couple plays that I watched that young man elevate. Wow. He is so electric. And I just wish that, the flow of the game was a little bit better for him in certain instances. But this team will rebound and be ready to go. As I said, they will take on Vanderbilt this weekend in Nashville. Also, don't forget, if you have not got your tickets for Sunday's game, I know everybody's thinking about the Super Bowl, and rightfully so, but the Texas women will be hosting the number 2 ranked and national champion South Carolina Gamecocks. They will be coming into town this weekend. And let me just tell you this, I expect it to be a raucous crowd. Football game isn't until 7:30 or 6:30 kickoff for the football game. You got plenty of time to get down there and watch that basketball game. I believe that game tips off at 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock tip off Central Time. So you'll have plenty of time to get home, get settled, and get ready for the NFL. I want to thank my man Mark Henry. I hope you had a good time in Florida. I know you're supposed to be back today. I want to thank my man Khalil, as always, and I want to thank you, the people, for always tuning in. Thanks to Eric Henry, thanks to Coach Schlossnagel, and thanks to my guy, Steve Foster. As always, we appreciate you for tuning in. Tell 5 friends to tell 5 friends and listen to us Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 a.m. be tuning in to the Craig Way Show this afternoon. And always remember this. Don't believe everything you see, because even salt looks like sugar. Peace.